This is Biker Dad, brought to you by Stevenson Klotz and the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers.
Hi, my name is Chris Best, and I left my 25-year corporate career to ride motorcycles and tell stories, and this time that adventure brings me here to the beautiful Gulf Coast of Mississippi. You may not realize how beautiful Mississippi is till you come down here to the Gulf Coast. Well, anyway, the reason we're here is because it's summer and the riding season's kicking off everywhere. We ride 24/7 down here, but it really gets started about this time of the year. And one thing, a big tradition on the Gulf Coast is this, and it's a little yellow book, but bikers are fanning out across Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida to make roads safer for you and me. We get ready for the Myrtle Beach Fall Rally with a look at South Carolina's most famous motorcycles. A road trip will trip you out. That famous beam in Chicago.
It's cool. It's really trippy on the inside.
When I ran across this guy on the road, I just had to know his story.
This bike is, you know, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning, I can't sleep, my mind's racing, get on the bike, disappear up into the back roads, and I can change my whole being.
No legs, no problem. How he got back onto and is determined to keep on rolling. And we ride to eat, where the crib is full of Mississippi ribs.
And I have a half rib for over and coleslaw.
But first, riders for riders, bikers roll out to make our roads safer. That's where we start. Let's roll. Have you ever sat at your job and thought, what if I just got up and left? Tell that horrible boss to take this job and shove it. Have you ever wanted to just walk out? What about burnout? Well, that's exactly what I did, but I didn't just quit. I left my 25-year corporate career to ride motorcycles and tell your story. Daytona Beach, Florida, where you can actually drive onto the beach. Rick Fairless, a legend of his own, introduced me to Richard Rollins, Mayfield, Kentucky. Southeast Missouri, beautiful city of Knoxville, Tennessee. Gulf Coast of Mississippi, the Florida coast and the Tampa Bay area, Orange County Choppers, Roadhouse and Museum, talking to Paul Tuttle Sr. himself. But make no mistake, this is not a show about motorcycles or even about me. Instead, I travel across the country to meet the people who use their passion for motorcycles to make their communities stronger, safer, and better. This is Biker Dad.
Hi, I'm Lisa Ost. I'm president of Riders for Riders, and today we are doing our first kickoff run for our Passport 2022. Back on the road again, and I'm so excited. We're here at Marsh Landing, our 3rd or 4th stop today, and we're having a good time. Riders for Riders is a nonprofit organization that helps follow motorcycle riders every time they get in an accident, financially get back up on their feet. Passport is, we have 46 awesome stops this time in our Passport, and what you do is you go to each stop. When you buy your Passport for $10, you can get them at any 46 stops. You go around all summer long from today till September 24th, and you get your Passport stamped at each one of our stops. Then you come down to our Passport party on September 24th at American Legion Post 250 in Theodore, and you roll the dice. High roll wins $1,000, low roll wins $500. Plus we're having a bonus ride that day. Yeah, this is our biggest fundraiser we have. All this money is collected to help those financially when they go down on a bike. So that way we have funds to help people. We've been doing this for 12 years. In the past 12 years, probably at least 35 to 40. What's terrible is sometimes we can't approve them because they A, don't have their motorcycle endorsement, which is a state law, or it's their fault. If it's their fault, we can't help them. But as long as they have a valid driver's license, valid insurance, police report, and their motorcycle endorsement, we can help them. It's one of our biggest. We really wanted to hit 50 stops because we dedicated this to Wes Miller. He was our first vice president for years that got killed in a motorcycle accident. But I know he shined upon us today because it rained on us first off, and he gave us our good luck blessing. I know he was with us on this ride, and it's the biggest one. We've got him from Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Alabama, and state of Florida, because we have that big of a coverage area. You do not have to ride a motorcycle. I just barely got one in the last couple of years, and I've been an officer for 8 years, and I've just got my motorcycle. You don't even have to ride a bike or a motorcycle to participate in this passport tour either. Gulf Coast is the greatest place to ride. I mean, I know that it's pretty in Destin and Florida and all different places, but Alabama, Mississippi, Gulf Coast is a beautiful country. Come on down. I teach my grandbabies to look for motorcycles to spot them instead of slug bugs. And my grandson is obsessed with motorcycles. And he even did a report in his little second grade class about motorcycles, and he said, "This is my nana riding a motorcycle." It was amazing. It just chokes me up, but we got to get it in the youth now, because especially in the driver's education level and stuff like that, to where they can see us. Just like today, there was a couple different people that didn't even see us, and we're in a big group. So if they say they can't see us, that's just wrong. They're just not looking. I mean, they just come around you, they just turn in like they got God's gift to the road, and we're just here for their enjoyment or something, and knock us out like a game, and it's ridiculous. Hear that beautiful sound? Beautiful sound of motorcycle, people. Beautiful sound. Anyway, sorry, I get distracted because that's a beautiful sound to hear. If it doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know what could, because that's the greatest sound in the world. And if you can't hear that coming down the road, something's wrong with your hearing. Get off the cell phones, people. Get off the cell phones, pay attention to the road, no matter who you are looking at. Car accident, motorcycle accident or not, get off your cell phones.
If you'd like to learn more about Riders for Riders, the summer passport, or other ways you can help make the roads safer for bikers and drivers too, just go to the Biker Dad website, that's tvbikerdad.com, or follow us on all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even on the TikTok. Just look TV Biker Dad.
Ride to eat to live to ride.
Rides and ribs, bikes and barbecue is a combination I know I can't resist. We are in Ocean Springs, Mississippi for this edition of Ride to Eat. Eat to live to ride. Let's go inside and check it out.
Terry Chairman, and I'm the owner of the Rib Crib in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. So the Rib Crib is a barbecue franchise, a championship barbecue franchise out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and my partner and I were able to get a franchise for Mississippi. Again, they've taken elements from like the best of all of those locations. So we serve a St. Louis style dry rub rib that's fall off the bone tender. A lot of the brisket recipe is really influenced by Texas brisket. And so again, you talk about those areas as being difficult. That's the place where the company's been the most successful. And it's fall off the bone.
Fall off the bone. Literally fall off the bone.
So we have green hickory wood that's driven in from northern Alabama. So one of the things is we want green wood because it smokes rather than burns. Everybody has a favorite barbecue, and that's a great thing. And you really do have a lot of variety in the barbecue world. I think one of the things this company has done well is they serve a very good product that's kind of in the middle of everybody's taste buds, right? So we're not super spicy, we're not super sweet. We have a really good product. It really does focus on the process of slow cooking the meat for a long, long time. And again, the focus is really on putting together great quality. So one of the things that frustrates me is we're pretty much known right now. We've only been open for about four months. But people come here just for the barbecue. And our burgers, and we have brisket and burgers and sausage on our burgers. And our burgers are a phenomenal product line that people don't necessarily recognize. So we're really trying to focus on getting people to understand the whole menu.
Phenomenal. I had the ribs. Lord, they just literally, you hear people, they fall off the bone. These literally fell off the bone.
It's also pretty cool to have a restaurant owner who backs the biker community,
Oh, absolutely,
right?
Especially law enforcement, because, there's a lot of places that don't really law enforcement friendly, and to have someone more welcoming than most is greatly appreciated.
There's a lot of riding clubs down here on the coast. The weather's very good for it, so it's a good customer base for us. But the other thing is I've got a brother that's a retired police officer, and he rides in the American Legion, and he rides in the Blue Knights. And these guys do a lot of really good things for a lot of people, and you don't necessarily hear it. So when you get to know them and you realize what they're working on, it's worthy stuff. They're great customers. We want to be involved in things that support our community.
There's a little place in downtown Mobile on the corner of Fat and Happy, and it's one of my favorites. Bob's Downtown Diner isn't just a great place to eat and home of the best French toast you'll ever eat. It's one of the best things you'll ever put in your mouth. It's also an important part of the community and not just the biker community.
I'm grateful, I'm grateful for the bikers that I meet from all over the country.
Bob's is a hot spot for bikers and very biker friendly, but it's also family friendly. I like to bring my kids here Sunday after church for brunch. Please visit my friend Tony Sawyer at Bob's Downtown Diner and check them out on the corner of fatandhappy.com. Bike nights are back. It is warming up. Let's ride. Every first Thursday of the month, starting in March at Eagles Talon on Copter Road. Come say hi to Martha, get a nice drink, get some good food, and maybe get a patch for your vest. You can even get a Biker Dad patch if you ask nicely. Eagles Talon for all your gear, patches, apparel, and everything else biker. And also just want to say thank you to Martha and her team for 13 years of serving the biker community on the Gulf Coast. This is my prized possession, my pride and joy, my Dyna Harley Davidson. We call it Elvis. And when Elvis's paint was starting to fade and show its age, I trusted my friend Garrett at Black Sprocket Garage to give him a whole new look, and he knocked it out of the park. He can do the same thing for you, and he does it affordably. So if you want to get a one-of-a-kind custom paint job but don't want to pay one-of-a-kind prices, hit up Garrett at Black Sprocket Garage, and you better do it before we make him famous, and you can still afford him. Phone number, website, everything is right there on the screen. Now here's the Biker Dad Bike of the Week. Bike of the Week. This week's Bike of the Week may be green, but it's all red, white, and blue, really. Duncan with Harley Davidson is here to talk to us about this special Tri-Glide. What do we got going on here?
This is a limited edition. It's called the Enthusiast Collection. They did it in this, the Tri-Glide and the Pan America. It's to honor the Harley riders that have served and still serve in the military. It's Harley's way of showing their appreciation. As I say, it's mineral green denim. It's an unusual colour. It's got the star, like it's a throwback to like the 1930s from the Second World War. It's got the 114 motor, got the water cooling, and it's just a cool looking bike.
It's nice and fitted, so there's no gaps, so it's really pretty bike. So tell us about the Tri-Glide in general. What are the features about this that people really like?
The fact that they don't have to put the feet down, the fact they don't have to hold up any weight when they come to a stop. Yeah. Generally, we're all getting older, we're all going to probably end up riding trikes if we still want to continue riding. And they're a bit cooler than your normal oil-cooled bikes because of the water cooling. That does help. I actually put a thermometer on the oil-cooled heads and they were running at 350 degrees. With the water-cooled heads, they're running at 250 degrees. So it's a big heat saving, especially if you're stuck in slow-moving traffic.
All right, anything else about the bike that you want to talk about that I didn't ask you about?
It's got traction control and it's got cruise control and everything, which is always beneficial when you're riding. So apart from that, it's got most of the features that most of the trikes have got.
And the
paint scheme.
The Tri-Glide's all about comfort, right?
Yeah, it's basically a three-wheel version of an Ultra Classic. If you're into an Ultra Classic, it gives you the three-wheel version of it. It's got all the comforts of the two-wheel version.
Duncan mentioned that these are normally for older riders, but if you've never ridden a trike before, they're actually a ton of fun. So come down and ride the special edition Tri-Glide they have down here. And if you ask to see the Biker Dad Bike of the Week, they'll give you a free sticker. Our Back on Two stories are brought to you by Stevenson Klotz and the National Academy of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers.
Bryce Alexander. It's my 883 Sporty, Iron Sporty 2016 with a Voyager training wheel kit. And yeah, this is me. May 17th, 1999, I flipped the truck 9 times, broke my back in 3 places. Had a hairline fracture in my hip, and right after my surgery, I ended up with a staph infection that about finished me off. It really turned my life upside down, I guess is the easiest way to put it. A lot of depression, anxiety, what am I gonna do now, you know, big change. I've always been a bit of an adrenaline junkie, so I like to push boundaries, and my friends and my family have been really supportive of that as well. My buddy Hillbilly's sitting over there on the curb, bought this bike. Well, he traded a car for this bike. It had 3,100 miles on it, and went to Florida and found the Voyager kit for it, and brought it home, and I helped him get it put together. And then he started pushing me that I needed to buy it from him, so he had somebody to ride with. Cut me a really good deal. It's hard to say no. And now it's got a little over 23,000 miles on it. That's how I shift. This is the controller I use. I clamped this on my brake pedal on my truck, and I was trying to figure out how I was gonna run a shifter setup on this when I first got it, and got to thinking, why can't I use this if it'll clamp onto the shifter, which it did. It works out great. Made the rack out of some scrap metal and stuff I had, and that's it's a prototype. I haven't built the permanent one yet. Strap the feet down. If I don't strap my legs together, the wind will grab my knees. You get past 85 miles an hour, I don't care how good the straps are down here, it's gonna pull your foot right out of the boot. Yeah, there's the setup. And then when I want to shift, squeeze the clutch in, down. Get rid of the negative people in your life that's giving you that idea that you can't do it. You've got to stop listening to people like that, and the world's full of them. Find good people that support you and want to see you chase your dreams and have a better quality of life. This bike is, you know, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning, I can't sleep, my mind's racing. Get on the bike, disappear up into the back roads, and I can change my whole being. If you got questions, you can find me on Facebook, Bryce Sander, and I'm more than happy to answer questions for people. If I can help somebody else get in the wind, I'm down with that. Don't let people tell you no. Just don't listen to them. Do your thing. I do take enjoyment in proving people wrong when they tell me I can't do something, so.
Hey, I'm Dr. Glenn Glass of Glass Orthodontics. At Orthodontics, we're not really treating a disease. This is about aesthetics, this is about feel good. You boil it all down, this is about self-esteem. So we try to make it fun, and we just try to make it a great experience for everybody. I need you to move back just a little bit. And you, I need you to come forward. Can you move just a little bit to the left? Yeah, you. Yeah, that's it. And a little bit to the right. That's it. Perfect. If you want the straightest choppers in the Southeast, you come on down. This is where you get them.
Your home for Lex and Terry in the morning rocks your workday with AC/DC. SHINEDOWN. And OFFSPRING.
You gotta keep them separated.
Available on over 2,000 smart devices. The Gulf Coast Rock Station. TK 101.
Hi there, this is Chris Best, the Biker Dad. I'm just here to let you know that myself and the hundreds of thousands of people who follow us on social media and watch the TV show are here to help. Do you need help with something? Give me a call. That's my number right there, 251-402-6392. Especially if you need legal help, I have an army of lawyers across the country who can help you with injuries after motorcycle crashes especially, but other stuff like crime and everything else too. So give me a call, 251-402-6392.
Mobile Bay Harley-Davidson is the king of motorcycle credit. Good credit, bad credit, we'll get you riding. With over 150 new and used motorcycles available, we have a motorcycle for you and your budget. New Harley-Davidson motorcycles starting as low as $119 a month. The professional team in Motor Clothes is also here to help make sure that you're geared up for the riding season from head to toe. Come on down to Mobile Bay Harley-Davidson on the corner of Pleasant Valley Road and Cottage Hill and see the king of motorcycle credit.
I'm Bill Barber. I'm the retired general manager and now event coordinator for Suck Bang Glove. As far as I'm concerned, the #1 biker bar on the planet. This is the South Carolina Biker Hall of Fame. We started in 2014 to honor all of the people in the motorcycle world that did great things over the years to keep our lifestyle alive. And Brother John Finley Speed, he was our first one ever inducted. We also had, he was 95 when he went in. Bernie Shankman in 2018, he was 95 years old when he went in. He was a World War II and Korean War veteran, and he rode motorcycles in the war delivering messages behind the lines. And then he formed over 40 motorcycle clubs in the state of South Carolina. He gets told he's got to go to Washington, D.C., and he's going to go to Korea. He rode that flat. And I gotta remember, there was no interstates back then. That was before Eisenhower. He rode that flatty across country in 3 days to Washington, D.C. to get shipped out to Korea. Amazing man. When I had him on stage and I introduced him, the hair was standing up on the back of my neck. I've never been around a man that I was so impressed with. At 95 years old, he was a real man, and I was so proud to induct him. Amazing guy. He passed away last year. Very sad about that, but he lived a great life. And he had over 40 women to show up for his induction. And I'm not lying, 40 women for a 95-year-old man. That's how much of a man he was. I mean, the women loved him.
And I'll be back in Myrtle Beach for the 2022 Fall Rally. Come and see me hanging out with the lovely law firm over at the Beaver Bar. Come by and say hi.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, pay close attention to what I'm about to say. The insurance adjuster is not your friend. Their job is to pay as little as possible. That's what they're trained to do. I'm attorney Chris Klotz. When you're injured in a car accident, we are here to fight for your rights to make sure that you get everything you're entitled to. The call and the advice given during the call are free. Stevens & Klotz Injury Lawyers. We bring it to the insurance companies.
Coast to Alabama to the Florida Panhandle. Biker Dad is brought to you on the Gulf Coast by Stevens & Klotz Injury Attorneys. Hi there, this is Chris Best, the Biker Dad. I'm just here to let you know that myself and the hundreds of thousands of people who follow us on social media and watch the TV show are here to help. Do you need help with something? Give me a call. That's my number right there, 251-402-6392. Especially if you need legal help, I have an army of lawyers across the country who can help you with injuries after motorcycle crashes especially, but other stuff like crime and everything else too. So give me a call, 251-402-6392. Hey, we're here in Biker Dad World Headquarters, otherwise known as my garage. If you like a good laugh now and then, check out our TikTok 2. Try to say that a few times.
Dad, what are you doing out here?
I'm just out here relaxing after winning an argument with your mother.
I'm attorney Eric Stevenson. If you have a case involving a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, go to bringitlawyers.com to learn about your legal rights and our results. Or call us anytime, 24/7. Stevens & Klotz, we bring it to them.
Hey everybody, April Violet here, Miss Heels on Wheels from Knoxville, Tennessee, and you're watching Biker Dad TV.
Now, a Biker Dad road trip. On the road in Chicago, Illinois, and the last thing that I thought was going to be the coolest thing I saw on this road trip is a giant bean, but that's exactly what we found here in downtown Chicago. It's become an iconic image here in the Windy City, and when you see it in person, you'll see why. Day or night, all I can really say is that when you stare into the bean, it is a bit of a trippy sight. It's actually called the Cloud Gate and was constructed after a design competition that wasn't without controversy. Many people thought it couldn't be built or maintained, but there it is, and now it's become an icon in downtown Chicago. It's known for its wild reflections of the city, but the coolest thing when I saw it was the wild reflection of yourself. My daughter Alley Cat was the reason we went to this thing because she really wanted to see it, and I think she described it perfectly.
It's cool. It's really trippy on the inside.
What's trippy about it?
The reflections are distorted, and
So when you look up at the very top reflection, what does that seem like to you?
it looks very far away, and you can't tell how far it actually is.
Surprised how clear the picture is, and it looks like you're so far away. One of the things that makes the bean so popular is the interactivity of seeing your own reflection and the reflection of the skyline in it. It's what is drawing people here from all over the world to check it out and check themselves out in the cloud. The thing weighs 110 tons and is made up of over 300 metal sheets that are seamless. You can't see a seam in the whole thing. It's meant to look like liquid mercury, and the surface reflects and distorts the city skyline, but it also distorts and reflects what you see when you look at yourself. To me, the coolest part was the underbelly, where they have an omophilus, or Greek for navel. It's a concave chamber in the very bottom of the bean, and when you look through it, it looks like you're looking at yourself through space and time, through a tunnel or portal. It's really hard to explain unless you see it yourself. You could really stare into this thing for hours. So is it everything you thought it would be? You came all the way over here from Alabama to see this. Was it worth it? If you ever go to Chicago, I highly recommend that you take in the bean and all of its trippiness for yourself. That's it for this week's episode of the Biker Dad TV show. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and thanks for helping spread the word about motorcycle safety and awareness. Again, we're here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast riding with Riders for Riders who want to make the roads safer and help out bikers who go down. If you need any help about anything, whether it's a motorcycle crash or anything else, please don't hesitate to call me. This is my cell phone, the cell phone I'm shooting this video with right now, 251-402-6392. I can't promise that I can do anything for you, but I'll sure look into it and try, especially if you go down in a motorcycle crash. All right, that's it for this week's episode. Until next time, please look twice for motorcycles.